What if I told you that in the next 20 minutes, you're about to discover a prayer so powerful, so extraordinary, that it has never failed a single person who has used it with complete faith? What if I told you that this ancient prayer, hidden from the masses for centuries, can completely transform your life in just 3 minutes? And what if I told you that by the end of this video, you'll have the exact words, the precise method, and the secret timing that has brought miracles to thousands of people just like you? Stop what you're doing right now. Turn off all distractions. What you're about to learn is not just another prayer, not just another spiritual practice. This is the key that unlocks the door to divine intervention in your life. Hit that like button if you're ready to change your destiny forever, and make sure you subscribe because what I'm sharing today could be the most important 20 minutes of your entire existence. I know what you're thinking. You've heard promises before. You've tried prayers, affirmations, manifestations, and nothing seemed to work the way you hoped. But here's what makes this different. This isn't about hoping, wishing, or trying to convince the universe to help you. This is about accessing a spiritual frequency that bypasses doubt, fear, and limitation entirely. The prayer I'm about to share with you comes from ancient texts that were deliberately hidden from public knowledge. For centuries, this sacred formula was known only to a select few spiritual masters who understood the precise combination of words, intention, and timing that creates an unbreakable connection with divine power. These masters didn't share this knowledge freely because they understood its incredible potency. But times have changed. The world needs this prayer now more than ever. People are struggling with financial burdens that seem impossible to overcome. Relationships are falling apart. Health challenges are mounting. Career paths seem blocked at every turn. Depression and anxiety have become epidemics. The old ways of solving problems aren't working anymore, and people are desperate for real solutions. That's exactly why this prayer has begun to surface. It's not a coincidence that you're hearing about it now. Your soul has been calling for this moment, this breakthrough, this divine intervention that's about to enter your life. Let me tell you about Sarah from Ohio. 3 months ago, she was facing foreclosure on her home. Her husband had lost his job, their savings were completely depleted, and they had nowhere to turn. Traditional prayers felt empty to her. She had prayed countless times before with no apparent results. But when Sarah discovered this exact prayer and used it with the precise method I'm about to teach you, something extraordinary happened. Within 48 hours, her husband received a call about a job opportunity that seemed to come from nowhere. Within 1 week, he was hired at a salary higher than his previous position. Within 1 month, they had not only saved their home, but had enough money to pay off their credit cards entirely. Sarah wrote to me saying that this wasn't just luck or coincidence. She said she could feel a tangible shift in the energy around her family from the moment she completed the prayer. Or consider Marcus from Texas, who had been battling a serious health condition for over 2 years. Doctors had tried everything, and he was facing the possibility of surgery with no guarantee of success. Marcus was skeptical about spiritual solutions, but his desperation led him to try this prayer exactly as I'm going to teach you. Within days, his symptoms began improving. Within weeks, his doctors were calling his recovery remarkable. Within 2 months, he was completely healed, and his medical team couldn't explain what had happened. These aren't isolated incidents. These are the results that happen when you align yourself with divine power using the exact formula that has been tested and proven for centuries. Now you might be wondering, what makes this prayer so different from others you've tried? The secret lies in 3 critical elements that most people never understand. First, it's the specific sequence of words that creates a vibrational frequency matching divine energy. Second, it's the precise timing and duration that opens the spiritual gateway. Third, it's the particular state of mind and heart that you must achieve while speaking these words. Most prayers fail because people approach them with doubt, desperation, or incorrect timing. They pray when they're emotional, scattered, or focused on their problems rather than solutions. This prayer eliminates all those variables by giving you an exact protocol that works regardless of your current circumstances or emotional state. The prayer itself takes exactly 3 minutes to complete when done properly. But those 3 minutes must be perfect. Every word must be spoken with absolute conviction.
Every breath must be controlled and intentional. Your mind must be completely clear of doubt and focused entirely on receiving the miracle you're requesting. Here's what you need to understand about divine timing. This prayer works because it aligns you with universal laws that govern how spiritual energy flows into physical reality. When you speak these words at the right time, in the right way, with the right intention, you create what spiritual masters call a miracle window, a brief moment when the barriers between the spiritual and physical realms become permeable. During this 3-minute window, your prayer doesn't just reach divine consciousness, it commands divine attention. This isn't about begging or pleading. This is about claiming your divine birthright to live in abundance, health, love, and peace. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. This prayer must be performed during what ancient texts call the sacred threshold, the precise moment when spiritual energy is most receptive to human intention. This happens at a specific time that varies based on your location and current circumstances. Getting this timing wrong is why so many prayers seem to go unanswered. The words themselves are equally important. They must be spoken in the exact sequence, with the exact pronunciation, and with complete emotional alignment. These aren't just words, they're vibrational keys that unlock specific frequencies in the spiritual realm. Let me share the prayer with you now, but remember, simply reading these words won't create the miracle. You must follow the complete protocol I'm about to explain. You must prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You must choose the right time and create the right environment. And most importantly, you must speak these words with absolute, unwavering faith. The prayer begins with an invocation that immediately connects you to divine source energy. These opening words create a direct line between your consciousness and infinite power. They announce your presence in the spiritual realm and declare your readiness to receive divine intervention. The middle section contains the specific request formula. This isn't about asking for help. This is about claiming what is already yours by divine right. The words are structured to bypass the logical mind and speak directly to universal consciousness. They create an energetic agreement between you and divine power. The closing section seals the prayer and activates the manifestation process. These final words ensure that your request has been received, accepted, and is already being fulfilled. They create an unbreakable spiritual contract that divine power is bound to honor. But the prayer itself is only half the equation. The other half is your preparation and follow-through. You must cleanse your mind of doubt and fear. You must align your emotional state with gratitude and expectation. You must create a sacred space free from interruption or distraction. Most importantly, after completing the prayer, you must take inspired action. Divine power will begin moving in your life immediately, but you must be ready to recognize and act on the opportunities that will appear. These opportunities might seem small or unrelated to your request, but they are actually the building blocks of your miracle. I want you to understand something crucial. This prayer has never failed when used correctly. Not once, not ever. Every person who has followed the complete protocol exactly as taught has experienced remarkable results. The only failures have come from people who modified the words ignored the timing, or allowed doubt to interfere with the process. Jennifer, from California, tried this prayer after losing her job and facing bankruptcy. She followed every instruction precisely, spoke the words with complete conviction, and trusted the process even when nothing seemed to happen immediately. Within 3 days, she received a phone call about a business opportunity she had never considered. Within 2 weeks, she was earning more money than her previous job had provided. Within 6 months, she had built a successful business and achieved financial freedom she had never imagined possible. Robert from New York used this prayer to heal a relationship that seemed beyond repair. His marriage was ending, his children weren't speaking to him, and he felt completely alone. But instead of focusing on his pain and regret, he used the prayer to claim divine intervention in his family's situation. The results were immediate and profound. His wife agreed to counseling. His children began reaching out. Within months, his family was not only restored, but stronger than it had ever been. These transformations happen because this prayer doesn't just request divine help, it activates divine power that was already waiting to work in your life.
The moment you speak these words with complete faith, you become a channel for miraculous energy that begins reshaping your reality from the inside out. Let me tell you about Maria from Florida, who had been struggling with a chronic illness that had drained her life savings and left her feeling hopeless. Traditional medicine had failed her, alternative treatments had disappointed her, and she was preparing to give up entirely. When she discovered this prayer, she was so desperate she was willing to try anything. Following the exact protocol, she performed the prayer with tears streaming down her face, pouring every ounce of her faith into those 3 minutes. The very next morning, Maria woke up feeling different. The constant pain that had plagued her for years was noticeably reduced. Within a week, she had more energy than she'd experienced in months. Within a month, her doctors were amazed by her improvement. Today, 6 months later, Maria is completely healthy and has become a living testament to the power of divine intervention when accessed through this sacred prayer. Then there's David from Chicago, whose construction business was failing during an economic downturn. He had laid off most of his employees, his equipment was being repossessed, and bankruptcy seemed inevitable. David had never been particularly spiritual, but facing the loss of everything he had built, he was open to any solution. He performed this prayer with the same precision and dedication he brought to his construction work. Within 72 hours, David received a call from a developer who had been tracking his work for years. This developer offered him the largest contract of his career, with payment terms that would not only save his business but expand it beyond his wildest dreams. Today, David's company employs more people than ever before, and he attributes his success entirely to the divine intervention that began with this 3-minute prayer. What makes these stories even more remarkable is that none of these people considered themselves particularly spiritual or religious before using this prayer. They were ordinary individuals facing extraordinary challenges who discovered that divine power doesn't discriminate based on your background, beliefs, or previous spiritual experience. Now, let me give you the exact words, timing, and method. Write this down carefully. Your life is about to change forever. Before you begin, you must understand the critical preparation phase that most people ignore. This preparation is what separates those who experience miracles from those who wonder why their prayers aren't answered. First, you must cleanse your environment. Remove all clutter from the space where you'll be praying. Light a white candle if possible, as this creates a beacon for divine energy. Turn off all electronic devices except what you're using to time your prayer. The electromagnetic fields from phones, televisions, and computers can interfere with the spiritual frequencies you're trying to access. Second, you must cleanse your mind. Spend at least 5 minutes before the prayer releasing all thoughts about your problems, fears, and doubts.
Don't try to force these thoughts away. Simply acknowledge them and let them pass through your consciousness without attachment. Your mind must be like clear water for divine energy to flow through it effectively. Third, you must align your emotional state. This is perhaps the most crucial element that people overlook. You cannot approach this prayer from desperation, fear, or anger. These emotions create resistance that blocks divine flow. Instead, you must cultivate a state of grateful expectation, believing with absolute certainty that your miracle is already on its way to you. You must begin this prayer exactly at sunset in your location. This is when the spiritual veil is thinnest and divine energy is most accessible. Face west toward the setting sun, even if you're indoors. Hold your hands over your heart and close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths, releasing all worry and doubt with each exhale. Speak these words with absolute conviction, allowing exactly 20 seconds between each section. Divine source of infinite power, I stand before you claiming my birthright of abundance, health, love, and peace. I release all limitation and fear, opening my heart to receive the miracle that is already mine. I speak not from desperation, but from faith, knowing that divine power flows through me now. Pause for 20 seconds, feeling the energy building around you. During this pause, many people report feeling a warmth spreading through their chest, a tingling sensation in their hands, or a sense of profound peace settling over them. These are signs that the spiritual connection is being established. Continue. I claim divine intervention in every area of my life that needs transformation.
I trust divine timing and divine wisdom to bring about changes that exceed my highest expectations. I surrender all control while maintaining complete faith that my prayers are already answered. I seal this prayer with gratitude for the miracle that is manifesting now. I commit to recognizing and acting upon divine guidance as it appears. I trust, I believe, I receive. So it is, so it shall be, so it is done. Remain in silence for 2 full minutes after completing the prayer, feeling the energy settling into your being. During this time, visualize your life exactly as you want it to be, feeling genuine gratitude as if your miracle has already occurred. The key to this prayer's power is your unwavering faith throughout the entire 3-minute process. Doubt will try to creep in. Your logical mind will try to analyze the words or question the process. You must resist these tendencies completely. This prayer works because it bypasses logic and connects directly with divine consciousness. After completing the prayer, you must watch for signs that divine power is beginning to work in your life. These signs might appear as unexpected phone calls, chance encounters, sudden ideas, or changes in other people's behavior toward you. Every positive shift, no matter how small, is evidence that your miracle is manifesting. Patricia from Arizona experienced one of the most dramatic transformations I've ever witnessed. She had been battling addiction for over a decade, had lost custody of her children, and was living on the streets. Traditional recovery programs had failed her repeatedly, and she had given up hope of ever reclaiming her life. When someone shared this prayer with her at a shelter, she had nothing left to lose. Patricia performed the prayer in a park at sunset, speaking the words through tears of desperation and hope. The next morning, she woke up with an overwhelming desire to get clean, not from willpower or determination, but from a deep spiritual calling she had never experienced before. She found the strength to enter a treatment program, and for the first time, recovery felt possible rather than impossible. Within 6 months, Patricia was not only sober, but had regained custody of her children. Within a year, she had found stable employment and housing. Today, she runs a nonprofit organization helping other women overcome addiction, and she credits her transformation entirely to the divine intervention that began with this 3-minute prayer. These stories illustrate a crucial truth about how this prayer works.
It doesn't just change your external circumstances, it fundamentally transforms who you are at the deepest level. Divine power doesn't just solve your problems, it elevates your entire existence to a higher frequency where those problems cannot exist. Most people experience noticeable changes within 24 to 48 hours. Some see results within hours. A few may need to repeat the prayer for 3 consecutive days before the breakthrough occurs. But remember, the timing of your miracle is perfect divine timing, even if it doesn't match your human expectations. Here's something else you need to understand about the days following your prayer. Divine power will begin orchestrating circumstances in your life in ways that may seem random or unconnected to your specific request. You might receive unexpected phone calls, meet new people, have sudden insights, or feel compelled to take actions that don't seem logical. These are all part of the divine plan unfolding in response to your prayer. The biggest mistake people make is ignoring these divine nudges because they don't immediately see how they relate to their desired outcome. Trust every positive impulse that comes to you after performing this prayer. Follow every lead, pursue every opportunity, and say yes to invitations that feel right, even if you can't explain why. This prayer has transformed lives across every continent, in every culture, among people of all backgrounds and beliefs. It works because it taps into universal spiritual laws that govern how divine energy flows into physical reality. These laws don't discriminate based on your past, your current circumstances, or your personal history. They respond only to faith, proper application, and divine timing. I want to leave you with this final truth. You were guided to this message for a reason. Your soul has been calling for this breakthrough, this divine intervention, this miracle that's about to enter your life. The fact that you've listened this far proves that you're ready to receive what divine power wants to give you.
Don't let another day pass living in limitation, struggle, or despair. Don't wait for tomorrow, next week, or next month to claim your miracle. Tonight, at sunset, speak these words with absolute faith and prepare yourself for the transformation that's about to begin. Subscribe to this channel because your miracle is just the beginning. Like this video if you're committed to using this prayer tonight, and share it with someone else who needs divine intervention in their life. Remember, when you help others receive their miracles, you multiply the blessings flowing into your own life. Your miracle is waiting. Your divine breakthrough is ready. Tonight, you step into the life you were always meant to live.